Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to Funky Inspiration. We're your host, Daniela, a place to find peculiar ways to look at life and be inspired by this life. I hope you will join me every Wednesday in finding new ways to have a better quality of life. Thank you for stopping by. Lots of love, my friends. Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back. Welcome back to Funky Inspiration. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're safe wherever you are. I hope your loved ones are safe, and I hope that you're finding a way to cope with everything that is going on right now. I know that there's a lot that our minds can sort of go in this spiral that never stops. But I hope that you're finding the time and the space to take time for yourself, to really recalibrate, to fill up your energy, your bucket, your self-care, your love for yourself. This is definitely a strange time that we're living in, but I think it can also bring so much more growth, beauty, creation. And sometimes, as sad as it is, we do have to go through a moment of destruction and unease and discomfort to get to the point of beauty and beautiful, loving energy that is going to hopefully create the world that we wish to have and to live in. So, in today's episode, I really want to just see what comes through for you guys. Just really channel my energy so that hopefully it can inspire you. It can help you through these times where you might be needing it most. And like I have been saying, in the last episode, it was very short, and I said to really take this time to be gentle, to be kind to yourself. I really want you to honor that. And if you're not even ready to listen to an episode today or anytime soon, do not listen to me. Do not listen to anyone. Just spend time with yourself, focus in your heart center, and really come back to yourself and not necessarily, give your attention to other people, because only you and only you have the answers to what might be best for you right now. But if you need some entertainment and you want to listen along, feel free to do so. That is what this is for here, my friends. So in today's episode, like I said, I'm going to see what comes through, but I do have some pointers that I want to bring up, especially the whole idea of accepting what we cannot change. I think this is so important, especially right now, but throughout our lives, this is something that is just a necessity almost for us to have, to really honor accepting what we cannot change, because seriously in life there's very little that we have control of, or in our day-to-day life. Pretty much I always like to narrow it down that what we have the most control of is our thoughts and our emotions, and how we create those thoughts and manifest those thoughts. That's what we really have the power to control. But everything else is sort of just plays out in life, and we have to just accept it and move on with it. And for that, I wanted to share with you a story of when I actually went to India. In 2015, I went to India on a trip that literally seemed like a dream come true. It was actually a manifestation. I didn't think I would even go to India because I didn't have the money to go. I was making very little money at that time in the job that I was at. And I really didn't even know how I will make this trip happen. But I just had so much faith within me, and I put it out into the universe. And hopefully this can also inspire you to realize the power that you have with your thoughts and your words, and just asking the universe to help you, or God, or whoever you pray to. Just always ask and just release it and let it go, and it will come to you. I have an episode you can check back with on manifestation if that will be helpful for you. But hopefully even just the little nuggets that I share with you right now will help you to realize that you have so much power over creating your life and your destiny. So what happened was, yeah, like I said, I had no money, and I had a friend who wanted to go, and she wanted for us to go together. And it was so divinely guided. She actually let me borrow the money to pay for, I believe she actually paid for both the ticket and like the whole, we kind of bought this trip where we will get the hotels, the flights, the car, and the tour guide people all included into this package. So she pretty much helped me pay for that at the beginning. And I was just, I set out my intention to the universe that I will figure out a way to pay her back. And she knew this, she was so kind to even be so generous to let me borrow money and pay it all up front for me. And you know what happened? I actually ended up receiving my taxes from the US. I was living in Slovakia at the time when I went to India, and I ended up receiving my taxes refund from the US. And it was for the first time ever that I made so much money back in my taxes. And by so much money, I'm talking about, I think I made around $1,200, so $1,200, which was perfect because this was exactly around that amount that I needed for my trip. So it was such a magical thing. I had, like I said, I have never received that much. Usually my taxes are very little that I get back. I get back anywhere from $500 to $800. But this time exactly, I received $1,200 because I only worked in the US, I think, for 5 months or less since I went to live in Slovakia. So this money helped me to realize my dream of coming to India. But here's where the whole accepting what you cannot change comes in. When I got to India, it was beautiful. It was mind-blowing. It was everything I could have asked for and more. With that said, it doesn't mean that it was just an easy, smooth journey. I was in India for 2 weeks, and my time in India was rough, especially the first week in India. I got super sick on the second day of being in India. I don't know if it was something in the water or something I ate. I am not sure, but I literally was like to the point where I could almost cry of pain. That's how sick I was. I was literally nervous for being far away from a toilet, from a bathroom. That's how sick I was. So all in all, it was a beautiful journey, but it came with its hiccups. It came with a lot of discomfort and a lot of accepting of things that I could not change because, day 2 of my journey, it wasn't like I could just say, you know what, I'm going to go on a flight back home and just forget about this trip. Like this was my manifestation. I was there. I was living my dream, the trip of my life, the trip that I wanted to do so much. So I had a choice at that moment. I had a choice to either embrace the chaos that India can be or literally just crumble down and not accept the faith that was there for me. I had to really make peace with the fact that I was going to be sick for part of my trip. And it was not easy, my friends. It was hard many times. And I think I tried to hide it very well from my friend because I didn't want to make the trip horrible for her. I wanted her to fully enjoy the trip, and I wanted myself to enjoy the trip because this was, like I said, a trip of a lifetime. So I ended up really embracing this chaotic mess that India can be sometimes. And I really just, even laughed through pain. We made jokes about my pain and about my misfortune and having, to sometimes even run to the bathroom because I was that sick. And, I honor that. I asked my friend for help or for slowing down whenever I felt like I couldn't really move or that I couldn't be too far away from a restroom. And I had to really make peace with being at a lot of uncomfortable situation because there's a lot of things, in India that are beautiful, but there's a lot of stuff that is unsanitized. There's a lot of running into bathrooms where you might not even have toilet paper, where you might just have to go with the flow of things and really just embrace this chaotic mess and accept the things that you cannot change. And I feel like right now, what we're going through with this whole coronavirus, again, offers a chance for us to really honor that and really focus on accepting the things that we cannot change and really focusing on living in the present moment. If there's one thing that really helped me in my time in India when I was so sick, was really focusing on that present moment and just figuring out, okay, literally, this is even the thought I will say to myself. I would say, if this is the last day of my life, how much would I like to just like focus on the pain that I'm living through right now, or focus on the beauty that I'm seeing in the places I'm looking at, the things I am experiencing. So I really, really try to focus all that energy within me of focusing on those beautiful sights that I was seeing, the people that I was meeting. There were so many beautiful souls that I met in India. It was literally a trip that changed my life. And to this day, I wouldn't change 1 minute of my trip. Even the suffering, even the pain, I wouldn't change it, because I think there's so much juice, there's so much growth, so much creation that comes after you go through this peak of like really suffering and pain. Then you come back out of that with so much wisdom, so much knowledge. So I am forever grateful to the suffering and the pain that I lived through during at least the first whole week when I was in India. I feel like I started to get better towards the end of my trip. And, you know, by better, I mean that I was not having to worry to run to a toilet. That's what I mean by better. It wasn't even like I was feeling 100% better. It's so funny, when I came back from India, I actually looked so skinny because I lost so much weight, because I barely ate the whole time I was there. I was eating very little and really taking the medicine that I had taken with me to India for my stomach and all of that. So it was a really tough process. And I don't think anybody can see that from the pictures that I took, from the experience that I even witness. I feel like people can, even today, if somebody asks me about my trip for India, I will describe it as a beautiful journey, because it was, and I am forever grateful to it. But it was a lot of sitting with discomfort, a lot of sitting with the unknown, with things that I cannot change, things that I had no control over. So always think of that. Always think that what you can always control is your mindset, your thoughts, and that will create your experiences. So I could have had it a lot worse, to be honest. That's how I like to think of it. It could have been a whole lot worse. And it wasn't. It was worse. It was bad. Like I said, I don't want to minimize it, because it truly was bad. But I moved through it, and I try to focus my thoughts on the present moment, try to set intentions, try to ask to the universe for help to help me through it, to navigate through this time that felt so uncomfortable at times, many times felt so uncomfortable. And I ask you, listeners, to really ask for that. If you're feeling discomfort, if you're feeling unsure, if you're feeling uncertainty right now, really ask the universe, God, whoever you pray to, ask for what you want, and start to visualize that. Start to visualize what you want to create out of this whole experience. I think, I hate to say this, but I think if you have the access to even be listening to me right now, you are probably not doing as bad as many people are doing at this moment in this world. Because I always like to think that, whoever is going to be listening to me probably has a smartphone, probably has a roof over their head, probably has, resources at this moment. Even if you're struggling with the unknown, the uncertainty, you do have a lot of comfort within that level of discomfort that you're living through at this moment. So I say that to say that we can have it a whole lot worse. So try to focus on those little things that are going right for you right now. The fact that you have food in your home, the fact that you have a roof over your head, the fact that you might have your 2 legs, your 2 arms. Literally go so deep in being grateful for every single thing that you have, And believe me that gratitude will help you move through this. It will help you honor this space that we are all living through right now, and to really be in that present moment, which is so needed right now. Give that a chance. Look at this whole situation not from a narrow eye point of view, but more from like a bird eyes point of view. How is the bird looking down at us when they look from above? They see a big angle, they see a big picture. They're not just focusing on one little tiny spot. They're seeing the big picture of everything that is going on. So just give that a chance, honor that, and just remind yourself that your thoughts create your reality. The more you focus on fear, the more you focus on chaos, that is what you will constantly see. That is what you will constantly attract. So the more you focus on love, on the fact that you're growing, the fact that you could be creating right now, that you could be relaxing through this. Like, I don't even want you to think that you have to do something right now. Maybe you're being called to just lay down in your bed for one whole week. And if that is what you're feeling called to do that. Lay in your bed for the whole week and just breathe through this. Breathe, focus on your breath, drink a lot of water, honor where you're at. You know yourself what is best for you right now. So never shy away from that, from your own knowledge, your own wisdom, your own intuition. You always have the answer. You are the golden key to exactly what you need. So honor your golden key, my friend. I know that many of us right now are also wishing for this to end, for things to move forward, for when is the end of this coming? When and can I go back to the coffee shop, to see my friends, to hug the people I love? Let's try to really honor and be in this moment and not try to force anything. Nothing by force is ever good. So the more we understand that, the easier it's going to be to really sit with this discomfort and move through it. And the part of the discomfort might be that you have to sit down with a lot of your shadows, a lot of the things that you have never had the chance to confront about yourself. You're seeing aspects of yourself that you might not like, and they might come up. And I know this to be true because before this whole quarantine, I have spent days alone. I have gone, like I said before on the podcast here, I have gone on trips alone where I might not have seen anyone for days and just really have been in with myself and experiencing all of these emotions. I remember here's another little story for you. I remember when I went to Iceland the first time. I went there for 11 days. And I spent a lot of the time when I was there inside my apartment that I stayed in. And I really confronted myself and a lot of things about me that I wasn't liking, that I wasn't happy with. I even think to this day that me taking that trip saved the relationship that I am even in today. And I was in back then in that relationship, but it really saved me because I was having so many self-doubts, so many issues with validation, so many issues with just, not feeling love enough, not feeling beautiful enough. Like so many nonsense that come through our mind through the fact that we can be so conditioned by what we constantly see in this world, that I had to come face to face with those realities about myself and really face them. And start to think, okay, why am I having this thought? Where is this discomfort coming from? Where is this feeling? Where's this thought coming from? And after that, I will journal. I will speak to myself. I will draw. I will paint. I will do anything that will help me move through that discomfort. But really also face it, because I think sometimes we forget how valuable it is to face those dark side. I would call them dark side because that's what everybody calls them. But I think, there's no darkness without light. So you have to learn how to embrace both of these energies within you, because you have them. We all do. We have our dark energy and our light energy. So you have to find ways to embrace those two together and help yourself move through them and realize why you're having the thoughts that you're having. So a lot of my insecurities that I was moving through at that time were not coming from how my boyfriend at that time was treating me, who's still my boyfriend now, how he was treating me. It came from me. It all came from triggers that were within myself that were coming up whenever he said something. For example, I will tell you this one, which was so funny. He had commented, I think it was before I went on my trip, about not my weight. He had commented about why I hadn't gone to the gym in a long time. And the way my mind processed this was, I am fat. This is why he's telling me why I haven't gone to the gym. So my mind was literally bursting with all sorts of offense towards him at that point. And I had to figure out later on in that evening, when he said that comment, how to bring it up to him, because I needed to move through it. And again, when I even went and had my time alone in Iceland, that's when I really confronted those dark and insecurities within me. What could have been about weight, could have been about anything, pretty much validation, the way I felt about myself, all of those things. So I remember asking him, and he told me, like, it literally had nothing to do with him thinking I was overweight or fat or anything like that, but that he was just wondering because it had been something that he had seen me do for a while. And, then I just kind of dropped it and didn't go. So that's why he was just questioning. There was no back agenda behind him asking me that question, but because of my mindset and the way sometimes our minds can be a trick to ourselves, I was overthinking what he said and getting all of these rapid thoughts in my head, that really make no sense when you start to break them down together and realize why they're even coming to your mind. So to say that is, this time we are all in is also offering a lot of people a lot of alone time. And when you are alone, that is a time when you're going to see a lot of different sides of yourself. You're going to see the things that bother you about yourself. You're going to see the things that make you uncomfortable about yourself. You're going to see even aspects of yourself that you like, and things of yourself that you might need to drop and not have it be part of you anymore because they are just holding you back, holding you down. So this is a very sacred time for a lot of people. In my opinion, that's how I see it, that this is a time where we can really move through those emotions, those thoughts, those conditionings that are within ourselves, and really figure out a way to move forward and to come up from this stronger, better, and even more energized, recalibrated, to really move forward in this world and have the life that we want, create the life that we want, without being sometimes held back by all of these thoughts that come into your mind. So just sit with that thought for a minute. I hope that really made sense for you, what I just came up with in the moment, because it really is so important to honor this time. And you hear me say the word honor because I think we do have to honor these emotions, these ideas, these feelings that are coming up, because they are valuable. But we also need to learn how to move through them if they are not serving us in any way. So just think of that, sit with that thought, and see how that feels. Think of areas in your life where you might need to change something. You might need to move something. You might need to act differently from, after this is quote unquote over, because like I said, there's no point in really trying to focus so much on when this is ending. It's better to focus on this moment that we are all in, the present moment. To focus in the past is to create just depression for yourself. To focus in the future is to create anxiety for yourself. So always think of that when you're too worried about the past or too worried about the future. You're just creating depression and anxiety for yourself. So be careful how much time and energy you offer to your past and to the future. What is most important, and every, spiritual person, every religion almost, and everyone out there who does public speaking, who does videos of empowerment and all of that stuff is going to tell you that one of the key things in life is to really live in the present moment and what you're going through in that present moment, because all that is real is that present moment that we have. So think of that next time you get too overwhelmed or too worried about anything. This is also a great time to realize which people in your life you're holding resentment, anger, fear, or any type of emotion towards them. This is a great time to look at those relationships and really figure out a way to forgive them and forgive yourself and to move through it, because it is never helpful to hold grudge, to hold fear, to hold any type of resentment towards anyone, no matter what they have done to you. It is so much better to move on and let that go, because it is not going to be helpful. It is only going to hold you back, and the other person might not even know that you are holding on to a grudge or anything like that. So it doesn't affect them in any way. It actually affects you. And this is, I think, a great time to really focus on your relationships with other people. Focus on the people that you might want to bring more into your life, and those people that you might need to let go of in this time, because they might be toxic for you, or they might be just, not helping you in your evolvement in this life, in this world. So just move through that and forgive yourself for not wanting to be with certain people, for wanting to move past that and just releasing that. I think is so much value in releasing those energy that we sometimes might be tied up to. So for example, I know that this is a big one. A lot of people hold a lot of resentment towards their parent, because maybe their parents were not there for them. Maybe their parents hit them or did something wrong or abused them or did, horrible thing. This is a great time to release of that. Of course, I'm not telling you to forget or to not honor what happened to you, because of course it did happen. But I think there's so much more benefits on releasing that. Even writing it down, write a letter to your parents, to that person that you don't like, the person that you might even hate, as strong as that word sound. I do not hate anyone. Thank God I have moved past a lot of those things in my life. But, I have also gone through that process of like, if there was anybody in my life that I felt, a discomfort with, or that we needed to fix something, I have either wrote them a letter that I will give to them, or even I don't even give it to them. Sometimes I just write the letter, and either I burn the letter or I cut it into pieces and put it down my toilet, because that energy that you release onto writing it on paper is already enough to let you release that energy from your life. And forgiving people is going to bring you so much more peace. It's going to help you ground yourself. It's going to help you feel more centered, and just take off that weight of your chest, of your shoulders, so that you can move forward and really, elevate, fly like a bird in this life. And I want to share with you a beautiful little Hawaiian prayer. It's called the ho-o-pono-pono prayer. And it's a beautiful little thing you can say to people whenever you're holding any resentment or any thoughts, or even you can say it towards the coronavirus. You can say this to the coronavirus right now. And it's a beautiful little thing you can say daily, or right before you go to bed, or when you wake up in the morning. There's YouTube videos on this whole ho-o-pono prayer, so you can practice it like that, or you can just take an image from online. You will find it everywhere, and do not worry, I will write the proper name for it on the notes so you can see it there. And it goes like this: I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So it's literally those 4 sentences, which are super short and super easy to remember. So I urge you to practice them anytime that I needed to move some energy through me about somebody that I was having a little bit of discomfort with in my life. I will say this prayer to them, like in my head. Obviously, I wouldn't call them up and, practice a prayer with them on the phone, but I will definitely say it in my head aloud and think of that person that I wanted to send that prayer to. Because sometimes we need to really focus on that forgiveness to release anything that might be holding us down. So you can even say it to yourself. Sometimes we can feel so much guilt, so much resentment towards ourselves for wanting the things we want, wanting the life we want. So in order to move through those things, you must learn to give yourself forgiveness, to allow yourself to dream, to know that it is okay to want the things that you want. It is not something for you to feel guilty, I know that for mothers, for mothers, it is huge for them to not feel guilty if they are, not doing everything around the house. And this is so sad because we need to move past this. It is okay for moms to want alone time, to want periods of time for themselves, to want a little break from taking care of the little ones. It is completely okay, moms out there. Honor that. Your time is sacred. Honor that time and give yourself that time that you need. Do not feel guilty for that, for asking for help, for, paying a babysitter so that they can stay with your children and you can have a little rest. That is completely okay. You are normal for wanting that. It is actually so sad, but there's an statistics that mothers only have about 17 minutes a day for themselves. And that is just completely sad to me. Mothers and everyone, not just mothers, everyone needs a little bit more than that on a daily basis. I know myself, I need so much more time alone to recharge my batteries, to feel complete, to feel better. So I always try to honor that and really spend a lot of alone time. Even in my house, there's 4 people in my house, 4 total. And sometimes I just, get in my room and I don't see anyone for a couple hours, for a couple minutes. And that is great. That is completely okay. And that is, you're not being bad. You're not being a bad person for honoring that side of you that needs and feels that you recharge with having alone time, with having time for yourself. That is actually better, because when you actually get out into the world and spend time with other people, you're going to give them the best of yourself. You're not going to give them a side of yourself that is tired, that is depleted, that is, without any energy. You're going to give them 100% of your beautiful, loving energy. So honor yourself and give yourself the time that you need. Ask for help. Do not be shy to do that. And practice the little ho-o-pono-pono prayer. And I will say it again here so you can practice it. And I will leave it in the notes so you can keep practicing, my friends. And it goes like this. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you can even add the name of the person. So you can say, for example, my name is Daniela. So I would say, I am sorry, Daniela. Please forgive me, Daniela. Thank you, Daniela. I love you, Daniela. So practice saying that. Practice it, putting your name in there and really forgiving yourself for anything that might be holding you down in this time and always, because I feel that there's always so much that our human minds decides to, grab onto and not let go. So it's great to always come back to that forgiveness, that prayer, and remind yourself that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and it's completely okay to mess up along the way, to make mistakes, to move through this with fear sometime, and sometimes move out of that fear and come back. It is a roller coaster of emotions, and that is what makes life beautiful and juicy and delicious. So don't give up on life just because something is crumbling down, something is chaotic, something is quote unquote bad. There's no such thing as bad and good. It's all the same. There's polarities in life. There is, things have to have a good side and a bad side. You wouldn't know, You wouldn't know light without darkness. You wouldn't know good without bad, and so on. So you need all of these things in order to have this beautiful game that is life. And I think that is a beauty of life. And the beauty of life is not that every moment is supposed to be perfect. I think the beauty in life is that you're going to have beautiful, perfect moments within your life. But you also need to learn that there's going to be times where you go through these rough times, and that is okay. That is all part of this human experience that we're having. That is all part of learning to move through those challenges and come in the other side better and stronger. So never feel that you are stagnant. You're always moving. Nothing is permanent. All is temporary. Life continues moving. Even just yesterday, I opened my shades when I woke up, and I saw that there were leaves on the tree outside my window. And it's so beautiful because they were completely naked. They were empty. But because spring is coming back here where I live, I am starting to see the leaves and the flowers, and it just reminded me of how nature is the biggest proof that everything is always evolving. Everything is always moving. Things are always changing. Things are always, happening. No matter if we are able to see them in that moment, things are always moving. So nature really is a beautiful teacher, a beautiful lesson for all of us, that nothing is permanent. Everything is always moving forward. So trust in that. Trust that things are going to move forward, but be in this present moment and honor this present moment. It is very important to do that right now, my friends. This is what I believe is going to help all of us move through this time and come out of this stronger and better. So think of that. Think of what are the little things in your life you can forgive right now. Think of that forgiveness and forgive. Write to people that you need to forgive in your life. Don't hold any grudge in your heart, any fear, any regrets, any resentment. It's only going to hold you back and hold you down to have those thoughts and those feelings. So really try to look back and see if there was anything, even if it was tiny, that person did that was beautiful, that was nice, or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, we must remember that everybody's in their own journey and their own evolution. So never take anything that somebody else does to heart, because it could be so many factors, so many reasons why that person acted that way in that moment. So just try to release that energy so that you can move forward and have a better quality of life. And you know that I love this whole thing about having a better quality of life, because that's what we came here to do. We came to really have a beautiful experience. We came here to thrive. We didn't come here to suffer. Of course, there's going to be suffering because we must learn to move through those and create a better reality for ourselves. But focusing on those beautiful things that you can come back to, always come back to that. Come back to the full center, heart center, where everything is going to feel good and better for you. And honor where you're at. If you need to cry, my friends. This is a beautiful time. The bathroom, great place to cry. I have said that enough here on the podcast. So if you need to cry, do it. Honor that for yourself. Okay, and just to wrap up here, I want to bring up a few little pointers, and then we can end this episode, because I don't want it to be super extra long, because I know that your time is valuable. My time is also valuable. So I want to, just leave you with some little nuggets here. And one that I actually wrote down for myself was to talk a little bit about boundaries. And I said that in many other episodes, I feel to really put up your boundaries right now. Filter who you want to let into your energy, who you want to listen to, who you want to watch on the TV, on the news. Limit things for yourself, just really create those boundaries so that you can give this time to yourself to connect with you, with the person who matters most, you. If you are doing well, the rest is going to also do well. I think sometimes people feel very guilty to focus on themselves and not other people. But by focusing on yourself, you project that, you mirror that back to others, and others feel the need to also take care of themselves and, help themselves pretty much. So you don't help other people by you going ahead and doing things for them. You help them by being a mirror for them, a reflection, by being the living example to them that it is possible to live in a life of, of thriving and moving through the beauty of this world and the chaos of this world sometimes. But having that image yourself is what is going to ripple effect and help others. So you don't have to go and do anything for anybody else, as long as you're as selfish as you think that might be, which is, it is not selfish, because by helping you help others. So think of that next time you feel guilty of doing something for yourself. By helping yourself, you are helping others. Think of that. By helping myself, I help others. Think of that, my friends. Live in the moment. Live in the present moment. Another little nugget here. If we don't change, we don't grow. And if we don't grow, we are not living. So the fact that you're having this life, that you're breathing, it means that you're living. So there's often going to be change and growth throughout your life, because that is just part of this beautiful game we call life. So just let's embrace that. Let's move through that and come up as we wish and how we think it, because we create our own realities. Think of that. I have a beautiful thing on my Instagram today that I posted about manifesting. And I was reading this book. I will put the book below. It's called The Bringers of the Dawn. It's a book that is a heavy reading for anybody to understand. So take it with a grain of salt if you pick it up and read it. But I wanted to share this about the book, and they talk about thinking of manifesting as if when you go to a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant, you select the food that you want, you ask the waiter for the plate that you want, and you let it go. You release it. You don't go, running behind the waiter and you think, do you think you might have this? Do you think you might have that? Do you think you might, don't forget my order, don't screw it up. If you start to have all those thoughts, they will probably screw it up for you. So think that when you go to a restaurant, it's the same as your life. When you ask for something and you release it, it will come to you. It might come in a different size, a different picture, but it will come to you. So just trust that whatever you're putting out there that you want, it will come back to you. So if what you're needing right now is more peace, more quality time for yourself, more alone time, ask for that. If you need to move through something, ask for that help. Ask the universe, God, whoever you pray to, the sky, the trees, it doesn't matter. Just have that faith and ask for what you want, and you shall receive, my friends. So honor that feeling, honor that thought that you can order things in life just like you do in a restaurant. Think of that. And I left it actually on my Instagram. So if you want to go see it, it is under the highlights manifestation. So if you want to look at it, what I'm talking about, you can go there and read it. And yeah, like I said, practice that ho-o-pono-pono prayer. Such a hard word to say. Ho-o-pono prayer, which is, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And just embrace this time that we're going through. I know it's difficult. Believe me, don't think that because I'm talking about all these positivity here and accepting what we cannot change that I have not felt fear. Of course I have felt fear through this time, and more so when I go out to like the supermarket where I have to wear gloves and wear a mask. That feels a little bit strange. And I wouldn't say that I feel fear of dying. That's not really my concern. I have not that much fear towards that, to be honest. But it creates this unease feeling within me, just to see how fast things have changed, and just to see other people and to feel their fear, because I am an empath. So I end up feeling other people's feeling quite often. So when I go out right now, I try to really just focus on my gratitude for the fact that at least I have, money to go out and buy food, or that I have a safe home to come back to after I get back from the supermarket. I try to focus my energy on the positive things rather than what's going wrong in the world in this moment, which I know can be difficult through these times. But I hope that this will encourage you to really focus on that gratitude that is going to bring you back to your heart center and help you move through this time, because that will be what is most valuable for you, my friend, in my opinion, and hopefully you think so as well. One last thing, practice some mantras. Practice beautiful mantras to yourself. You can say, I am safe, I am whole, I am healthy, I am well, I am love, I am energy, I am divine, beautiful, guiding energy. I move through this. Any mantras that come to your head, repeat them to yourself. Anything that feels good, that feels like is what you need to hear in this moment, repeat that to yourself, and you will start to embody that. You will start to embody what you believe and you say to yourself. So practice that. Practice mantras. That might be super helpful for you in this moment and in this time. Well, that was all, friends. I hope that it wasn't too much. I hope it was enlightening and that it brings you energy, and that I could transmit what I want you to hopefully get in the back of the headphones or the speakers where you're playing me, that this will help you bring forward something that will help you move through these times, that will help you feel safe, that will help you feel healthy, that will help you move through this uncertain times. But like I said, everything is uncertain, my friends. There's no such thing as something being certain. Only death is certain. Everything else is uncertain, and that is part of this life. So give yourself some love. Remember to be gentle to yourself, and more than anything in this world, listen to yourself. Listen to your intuition. You have the key. You have the answer. You are the golden key, my friend. I love you. Take care and be safe.